It was just a part of life for me. I was born and raised in the San Fernando Valley, so there was pistons and cylinders everywhere. There was a look to hot rods that we kind of took for granted, never really understanding why they looked that way until you figured out they were made to look that way so they could go faster. I thought, what can I do to kind of substantiate this moment in history, or bring it back to the foreground again? And that's when I started painting. Naturally, the extension out of that was, of course, the bike scene was going on at the same time. I'm in the San Fernando Valley. I've seen this my whole life. You have the bike culture, the hot rod culture, the muscle cars, the racing, the drag racing, all these little schools. They're all existing, and it was easy to paint them. When I walk up to an old car, an old bike, an old plane, I kind of perceive a resonance that's coming off of them. I don't know if it's a vibration, whatever, but I respond to it. I've got this ability to do what I do, and what tickles me is that a lot of these guys are heroes of mine from my youth. When I paint the old cars, I tend to paint, and the old bikes, I tend to paint the human being, the figure with them, because there's a connection made there. Standing beside it with that pride that this is mine, this is what it's all about, this is who I am. With John Penton's painting here, that was supplied to me with an old photograph. When I get the old photographs, it's very hard for me to reproduce. I can't go up to John and say, hey, pose this way, let me take 40 years off of you. I have to kind of work that into the painting as I can. When I look at a photograph, I have to consider the composition, the image itself, and I take things that are superfluous out of it, like the crowd of people. That doesn't need to be there for me to tell the story of John at speed in motion on his bike. You notice that the clouds in the painting and the time of day are a little bit different than the overcast situation with the original photograph. I want to make the painting read well. I want to guide your eye through it, and of course it has to support the main character, which is John. What I tell people is, from the time that the brush hits the canvas, it normally takes about a week and a half. Any longer than that, and the painting starts turning into cottage cheese. I've developed an eye over the years that I can tell when there's either too much visual activity going on in a certain portion of the painting, or it's too quiet over here. But you balance all of that out, and there are times when, at the very end, where I've loaded a brush and hold it up, and there's nowhere else on the painting that you can put that brush, and that's when it's done. If there's a mistake in it, sign the painting, hopefully no one will notice. When you first show it, there's always kind of a trepidation. It's the equivalent of standing up on stage and dropping your trousers. What's the reaction going to be? It's positive. It's a good feel. I'm getting the same kick I got when I was drawing on guys' peachy folders. It's part of the thing that artists feed off of. It keeps us working. Once I go around that corner, I never want to kind of look back. Just keep moving forward.